Meet Kevin is just always in this drama news cycle. He just can't get out of it. It's actually kind of impressive how he's constantly putting his name in this drama circle here, but it has to do with his DUI case that was undergoing. He settled it, and this is news from a couple days ago, so it's a little old, but he settled this court case for a lower charge. I think he got reckless driving, is what the charge he settled for, a plea deal he took. And Meet Kevin now is just trying to move on from this and probably pretend like it never happened. And obviously, a lot of people talked about this. It was a huge story for a long time, ever since it really came out, which makes sense. You know, it makes sense to talk about this and put it out there. Like, the best disinfectant is sunlight. That is a saying for a reason. But I wish that people would have the same energy towards Meet Kevin and kind of the grifts that he puts out, his courses, and maybe even his stock picks for, that they have for this. And this is definitely important to cover, important to talk about, because DUI allegedly is about the dumbest thing someone can do. And even the charge that he got, driving recklessly, still dumb. But I just wish people would have the same kind of energy just looking at even just the tactics that Kevin uses in his stocks. I know there are people that talk about it. There are people that make videos about it. There are people that go into his subreddit and talk about it. But all these courses that he's pushing, that he has to push every single video because he has to squeeze as much money as possible out of his viewers to afford the lifestyle that he's trying to fit into now with his private jet. And you can even see this whole thing because it was the huge flash sale was a Valentine's Day thing last month, right? Where it was the flash sale. This is only going to last so long. Take advantage while it's here, and it's not going to be here forever. And then as soon as it ends, we have this Tesla Investor Day flash sale. This is the same thing that he uses with his coupon codes, where every month there's a coupon code. At the end of the month, it expires. But then look at this next month. There's another coupon code that you can use. It is literally just a sales tactic to try and induce FOMO so that you spend your money on his courses so that he can make money. Now, I don't know, maybe you have bought his courses, you find value in it, you learn something great. I don't like courses on the internet because I always feel that anywhere you can find any information on the internet for free, you don't have to buy a course for it. But if you want to buy it and you found value and you think it's the best thing ever, by all means, buy Meet Kevin's course. I just don't like the tactics he uses and how much he pushes it every single video that he posts, because he just wants to squeeze as much money as he possibly can out of his viewers. But going back to his court case and his DUI stuff and reckless driving that is officially now, I guess, charged with, because he took that plea deal. So he went on Scott Schaefer's channel and actually talked to him, which is good for Meet Kevin, right? Good for Meet Kevin, good for Scott Schaefer that he was able to call Kevin, and that Kevin picked up and answered his questions and talked to him. By all means, that's great. But some of the things Kevin said on this phone call were a little weird.
Apparently, when the attorneys told the judge that we're taking it, my attorney called me back and said, "Hey, it's done. By the way, the judge was so relieved because she had been getting so many emails from people about this case. Apparently, like, a ton of people were emailing the judge all the time, like, who don't like me. And if anything, to me, it sounds like my attorney and I, we were kind of joking. It's like, is that why they offered us this, to get this off their plate? Because it was so annoying of a case for them. And so we're like, well, maybe we owe a thank you to all the people who were emailing with hate or whatever. So thank you to those people.
So you can see he basically says that maybe the reason he got this plea deal is because people were constantly emailing the judge and asking for updates on this case and talking about it and wanting to know everything about it, which maybe that's true. Who knows, right? Maybe there was just so much stuff going in that they just didn't want to deal with it anymore and did this plea deal thing, right? And didn't want to fight it. But Meet Kevin is adamant that he would have won this dispute, this case, and would have walked free from any of his charges. But he took the plea deal for reckless driving. So I guess that was his best move to go forward. You know, he talked about the stress and everything, but there's one hill that for some reason Meet Kevin refuses to leave, that he is dying on this hill. And that he's like talking about drinking and driving and taking a breathalyzer so that you can go out and drink, just take a breathalyzer to be under the legal limit and then drive.
So I think the big takeaway is don't drink and drive. And, you know, if you've had a few drinks at a restaurant or whatever, you know, check yourself with a breathalyzer. Make sure you're like, my thing, and obviously I'm not an attorney, but I think the best recommendation is you should probably be under like 0.02 because you don't even want to cut it close. So that'd be my thinking.
I really don't know why this is the hill Meet Kevin wants to die on. He continuously talks about this, even when he was trying to defend himself in this whole court case and DUI thing, when the footage got out and people started talking about it. Even when he made videos trying to defend himself, he would always talk about the breathalyzer being under the legal limit, going out to drink and driving, just be under the legal limit. It's super simple. It's very simple, Kevin. All you have to do is not drink and then drive. That's perfect. That's the greatest solution to this whole thing. Don't even worry about the legal limit. If you didn't drink anything, then you're perfectly fine. And if you go out somewhere and you have even one drink, don't drive. Why even try to put yourself in that situation? Why even try and risk it? Why do any of that? Be responsible. If you go out and you go drink, even if you have one drink, even if you have just a sip of alcohol, just don't drive. It's very simple. It's very easy. But even since then, I've stumbled across some of Kevin's tweets and stuff, and he's always talking about, or not always, but sometimes he'll say something about drinking or joking about drinking, or even his YouTube videos, he makes a joke about drinking or something. I mean, you can see an example here on his Reddit here of someone talking about, you know, putting out a tweet basically talking about Tesla stock in the investor day and saying, I'm going drinking tonight, which is weird. You know, when you have this whole allegations around you, when all this stuff is circling and cycling, why not just take a step back and don't kind of make jokes about drinking or all of this stuff? Just don't talk about it. Even if you're going to do it, just don't talk about it. Because if his idea is to try and be funny and crack jokes and maybe people will move on from this, you know, just don't make the jokes. They're not funny. They're really dumb. And I don't know why the hill for him to die on is just be under the legal limit. If you're going to drink, just take a breathalyzer before you drive. I don't know why that's what he wants to die on. That's the hill that he's stood on since day one with all this stuff. It's crazy. But that's the Meet Kevin news. His case settled for reckless driving, took the plea deal. So this stuff's probably going away. It's going to not really be talked about. I'm sure everyone will just kind of move past this and forget that it ever even happened. And that's probably the biggest thing that Kevin wants to actually happen here. But I do think that people should keep the same energy, right? This was a very important thing. It was very crazy to see somebody doing this and a big figure in this finance space. But keep the same energy with how he sells his courses, what his courses are really about, his stock picks and his financial stuff that he does. Because at the end of the day, that is his ecosystem. That's his bread and butter, his finance. And if he's doing things that are wrong there, you got to call it out. You got to talk about it. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video.